I'm Warren Andrews with VBN Sports, joined by Bo Lokombo, who's a linebacker and safety with the Toronto Argonauts. Bo, first off, I got to ask you, what's been keeping you busy during these crazy times?
Oh man, it has to be my son. I just had a kid in November, and it's been pretty hectic. It's been crazy. It's my first son, first child, and so he's been keeping me pretty busy, keeping me late at night, keeping me occupied pretty much throughout the day. But it's been fun, man. It's been pretty awesome becoming a father.
Been able to squeeze in a few workouts here and there as you get ready for hopefully at least part of a season?
Yeah, so I do a lot of home workouts. I've kind of been doing a lot of home workouts already anyway. Just kind of get my body right, keep my body in shape. I try not to, push myself too hard because I don't want to peak too early. And I know, with the season being delayed or possibly not happening, you just gotta keep yourself, ready at all times. So I keep myself sharp and mentally too. I watch a lot of film, old games and stuff like that. So try to stay on it.
Well, you were born in the Congo, but you grew up in Abbotsford, and there's a great community program there for football. But you didn't get into football until grade eight. So, what were the sports that kept you busy until then, and why did you choose football in grade eight?
I played a lot of basketball. Basketball was one of my main sports. Even till this day, I watch a lot of basketball. But it was basketball. I played some soccer, played rugby. I really liked the game of football. The reason why I kind of fell in love with it was because I love the physicality of it, and it was kind of challenging too. Football is you got to be very smart. You gotta be knowledgeable. And what I liked about it is that like the team camaraderie, like the like being able to rely on somebody else. And I fell in love with the game. I fell in love with having to study the process, and it's been such a crazy journey. Going into my 6th year in the CFL now as a pro. It's been absolutely amazing, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So, you know, come growing up, playing basketball, playing soccer, that just all that, staying in shape, all that helped me with football.
Well, you look at some of the talent that's come out of Abbotsford. If you go back even the last decade, outside of just yourself, you got Chase Claypool getting drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Malik Irons plays for the Ticats right now. Your brother Nelson wins the President's Trophy as the most outstanding defensive player in all of Canadian university football. Why do you think the Valley's churning out so many good ones?
I think a lot of people in Abbotsford have a chip on their shoulder. A lot of athletes, they know they come from a pretty small town. They know they have to work that much harder to, make a name for themselves and to kind of put themselves on the map. So I feel like, kind of coming from a small town like that and not really like being looked over, um, they just you just kind of have that passion, and it makes you work that much harder. And those guys that you mentioned, Chase Claypool being drafted by the Steelers, and Malik Irons and my brother, like they're all athletes who dedicated themselves and put a lot of hard work, and it's paying off.
Now, you come from a big family and a close family. There's what, six siblings plus yourself? Where are you in that pecking order?
So I have four brothers, two sisters. I am in the middle. I'm kind of a middle child, and it's kind of cool. I have two. So my the youngest one is Nelson, and me and him are pretty close. But yeah, I'm a middle child. I'm straight in the middle.
How hard was it? I believe it was just you and your dad that moved to Oregon for a couple of years to play football after you had started in high school. What was that experience like going away from a family you'd been with the whole time and going to a country where football's king and competition had to be pretty fierce just to even get on the field to play?
Yeah, yeah, it was tough, man. Actually, a lot of people actually forget that I went down the south for 1 year. But the reason why I did it was because I wasn't really getting recruited up here in Canada and Abbotsford. So it was kind of like a opportunity for me to kind of put my name out there. When I was still in high school that year, I started going to a lot of Nike camps in the States, and I started doing really good. Scouts started really noticing me, and we had some family in Eugene, and they're like, hey, why don't you come down for a year? You're in like your prime of your high school career. You could really make a name for yourself. You could get more exposure. That's that was really one of the main reasons to get exposure and to play against the top of the top. So when I went to South Eugene, which get my name there and to get more scholarships.
Well, when you came back to Abbotsford, boy, did you ever come back, Bo? You were an absolute beast at Mowat on both sides of the ball. I mean, people know you for your defensive play in the CFL, but you were a provincial AAA Eastern Conference MVP. You had 22 touchdowns. What do you remember from your time with Coach Dennis Kelly?
I remember winning a lot of games. Being able to come back in the senior year and playing for Coach Kelly, one of the smartest coach I ever played for, was just tremendous. Being back home, being with my teammates again, my friends again, my family. It was pretty awesome. And the thing about WJ Mode is it's not like a big school like that as far as like when it comes to football. Like we don't get a lot of um, like players who want to play football. We like our roster is usually pretty small compared to like a Vancouver College or like a New Westminster or like Holy Cross. But the guys who did commit to playing football, we won a lot of games, and we did it because we had such a great coach in Dennis Kelly, and he just taught us how to have fun with the game first. People can't forget football is supposed to be a fun game. It's not supposed to be all business, all serious all the time. And I never want to forget that football is fun. Sometimes it's hard to forget when you get into that. When the business kind of interferes with the fun aspect of it, sometimes it can make the game not fun. But you always got to remember football is supposed to be a fun game. And Dennis Kelly brought that for us, and even till this day, I still have a lot of fun playing football.
Well, you look like it when you're out there. We'll talk about the hit that kind of went viral there last year in a bit, but when you went to the University of Oregon, I'd imagine the only easy part of that was that the head coach had the same last name as your other head coach, and Chip Kelly this time. How long did it take you to learn his playbook?
You know, Chip didn't take me very long. When I came in when I signed with Oregon, that was Chip's first year too. So we all came in together. So it was all a learning process for everybody. And I didn't really deal too much with Chip Kelly because I was on the defensive side. Chip was more offensive minded guy. And so I was more with a defensive coordinator at the time named Nick Aliotti. He was our defensive coordinator, and it took me maybe because I redshirted my first year, and it probably took me like 2 years to learn the defense fully to learn because I was playing two positions at the time. I was playing Sam on the strong side, and I was playing weak side. So I knew two positions. It didn't take me very long.
Nice. Well, another coach, Herm Edwards, famously said, "You play the game to win." Seems like that's all you guys did with the Ducks. I read somewhere 47 wins and 3 losses only during your time there. What is that feeling like as an athlete, knowing that if you guys go out and execute the way that you need to, you're probably going to get the win? Is that a powerful feeling?
It's a very powerful feeling. Being at Oregon, the amount of games that we won, it made the college experience that much more um, memorable. You know what I'm saying? Like I can remember from the first time I stepped foot at Oregon until like the last day. Like the fact that we were winning so many games, going against some of the best competition. We played LSU, we played Auburn, we played uh, so like all like Stanford, just to name a few, you know what I'm saying? Like we faced the best, but we were the best. We were the team to beat every year. We had the uniforms, we had the players, so we were like the top dogs. And to be a part of that and to be able to kind of contribute in that success is something I'll never forget. I still have my rings. I still wear my rings. Actually, I can show you one of my rings that I love, but I still have all my rings just to remind me of that I'm a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've put the time and the blood, sweat, and tear. I put all the work in, and those memories I will forever cherish it. People always ask me about how my Oregon experience was, and it was amazing. Like my college experience was so good because we won. I had fun. Uh, I was like playing at the one of the best schools in the states, and it was all good. It was all good. I'll never forget it.
Well, I got to ask you this. What do you remember more? We talked about those wins. So, is it the program's first Rose Bowl win since 1917? Like, that's huge. Is it
Yeah.
the win over Texas in the Alamo Bowl? Or is it that one loss in the national championship game to a guy named Cam Newton and the Auburn Tigers? Which one sticks with you more, the Rose Bowl win, the Alamo Bowl win, or that loss to the Tigers?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. I think that the one that sticks out to me most. Okay, there's two. There's when we
Okay.
played Russell when we played Russell Wilson, Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl. I believe it was 2012 or 2013. That game at the in the Rose Bowl sticks out to me the most because it was such a close game and it was exciting all the way around. And then I'd have to say probably playing Cam Newton Auburn in the national championship in 2011. I believe 2011. Those two games stick
At the
out
college
to me.
level, who was tougher? Was it Cam Newton or was it Russell Wilson at the college level?
Uh, I think it was Cam Newton. Cam Newton was pretty tough. Cam Newton that year, Cam Newton won the Heisman. He won the national championship. He was just balling like it was his year. And yeah, he was a tough athlete to take down. Yeah, he was tough.
You didn't feel so bad when you saw how he did in the NFL afterwards, right? You're like, well, if I'm going to lose,
Mhm.
it might as well be that guy.
Exactly.
Do you remember the first pro game that your family got to see you play in, and how special that must have been for your family to see you out there getting paid to play football?
hmm I think my first pro game they came to see me was because I signed with the Lions in September. In September, I think September 8th it was. I signed pretty late. It was like halfway through the season in 2014. Sorry,
Okay,
my memory is a little foggy back then.
that's okay.
2014, I believe.
It's better than mine.
And huh? So I think they came to see one of the home games like the following week. It was we played. I think it was like we played Winnipeg or something that day, and I had like because I was mainly on special teams like my debut I guess, and I think I had finished with like three or four tackles on special teams alone, and they were pretty excited to see me play.
But you got a taste of the NFL too. I mean, you were in Ravens camps, 49ers camps, Raiders camps, but really, if you look at it, you made your mark in pro football with the Lions. I think you were an all-star in 2015. What was it like coming in and learning from two of the best in the CFL in Solomon Elamimi and Adam Bighill? What did you take from them?
Oh, it was great, man. Those guys, biggest thing I took from them was working together. Like they worked so well together. They had such great chemistry. It was like amazing to see how they communicated, how they approached the game. Those guys have been doing it for a while. They both were pretty successful individually. They won some accolades and they knew what they were talking about. So Solly and Adam, both of them took me under their wing, just kind of like, taught me a little bit more how to be a pro, how to, take better notes. I was already a pretty good note taker anyway, but just how to be more detailed and how to practice. I was a pretty good practice guy already anyway. Like when it came to practice, I actually really enjoyed practicing, but they just kind of like brought me to that next level. And yeah, I have a lot of tremendous respect for both of them. Adam Big Hill is doing great over there in Winnipeg, and Solly's with the Saskatchewan. So they're both successful in their own right.
Well, I know that a lot of Lions fans were pretty upset when you were moved to the Montreal Alouettes. And you look at that, you go to a team that was a proud franchise, but it had been tough times for them for a couple of years. They missed the playoffs. And then
Yeah.
guys like yourself and Wamba really energized that defense. And you had Vernon Adams Jr. chucking the rock with a lot of success. And it seems like that franchise got their swagger back last year. How did it feel to energize the fan base and get them excited about football in a province that's very passionate about football?
Oh, it was awesome, man. It was so cool. It was cool, like, the first game, and you started seeing this too. We all started seeing this. The first game, Montreal for many years, their fan base wasn't very good. There was a lot of empty seats and stuff like that. And like as the season progressed, you started seeing more people coming to watch us play. You started seeing seats filling out. Like every home game, you start seeing more and more and more and more people. And to see that progress every weekend was pretty exciting. Um, and it was just cool. Like I know even in the past, coming in, Montreal didn't have the biggest what's the word? What's the word like? Hmm. They didn't. A lot of people knew that they were a losing franchise. You know what I'm
Ah,
saying?
yes, yes.
So like so even like when I was playing with the Lions, we always kind of like looked down on the Alouettes because we knew they sucked. We knew, they lost a lot of games. We took them very lightly. And when I came in, it was like we changed, we changed the culture. We started winning more, and I know like Kavis Reed did a good job of bringing in free agent guys to change that roster, to change the franchise, and I'm very thankful to be a part of that and to be able to contribute in that success with the Alouettes.
Well, big plays played a big part in it, and one of the big plays on defense that it seemed like was everywhere on the internet for a couple of days was against the BC Lions. Wayne Moore gets the handoff. The hole opens up. It looks like he's going for a big gain, and here's number 20 in blue, a rouge, coming down like a
Mm,
freight train, and you absolutely rocked him. And that
yeah.
was everywhere on the highlights and all over Twitter. Did your phone blow up after that and you finished playing the game?
Yeah, man, my phone blew up like I remember my phone blew up so much. It was crazy. All my social medias, I had so many fans from like other countries trying to add me. My everybody saw it. It was everywhere, and it's pretty cool to be able to be able to experience that bit of fame, so to speak, because it was like I've never. I just to me it was just like another hit. I know it was a big hit, but I've had hits like that before. But to be able to have that impact and to bring that energy, that's all I really cared about was winning that game. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my team that didn't want to sign me again. I had a kind of chip on my shoulder. That's all that mattered. I didn't care about anything else. I didn't care about my phone blowing up. I just wanted to win the game. And and I remember they were driving. Mike Riley and his crew was driving. They were driving and it was a close game. I think we were up by a touchdown or something, and they were driving. They were about to score. And I was like, damn, somebody need to do something. Like we're playing too soft. And so when that hole opened up, I just reacted. My instinct just told me go, and I went, and we met, and luckily I was the hammer, not the nail. Yeah,
I was glad to see him get back up again because that was a beautiful clean hit.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
how did it feel for your peers, not the media, but your peers, to vote you to the CFL PA All-Star team for the East with your old mentor, Adam Bighill, the middle linebacker for the West? That had to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was cool. It was really cool to be voted, but especially by my peers, and it was my first time playing safety too, first year. I didn't, I knew I could do it, but I didn't really know that I was going to have a lot of success in it the way I did. And I want to give kudos to Coach Slow. He was the one that believed in me, and he was like, you know what, hey, we could put you back there. Taylor Loeffler went down. Let's put you back there. You could. We've seen you move. You're versatile. Let's see what you got. So, just want to thank him for giving me the opportunity. And my peers, for me, it just shows that they people are watching. Especially when your peers are giving you that kind of respect. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I just hope this year, I really hope that this year happens. But the way things are going with COVID-19, I hope that I could build on the year I had last year playing safety, build on just being a football player, being a student of the game.
And smiling at some of your old quarterbacks, Mike Riley and, and Vernon Adams Jr., if you're picking them off too and going for 6 the other way, I'm sure that would feel pretty good for you too.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely got something in store for them.
Now you're coming into a situation, you're with the Toronto Argonauts. They traded for you. They wanted you. And it's a situation that's fairly similar to what you came into with Montreal. They made some big signings. Look at Matty Nichols. It's really going to complement the quarterback position. They got some of those old veterans that they come back in SJ Green that know how to snare the rock. They know how to get it done. Are you excited to be part of their turnaround again too and get them back into the playoffs and maybe beyond that?
I am excited, man. And Toronto actually made a lot of moves during this free agency. They it seems like this roster that they put together is full of guys from different teams. And I believe even our coach, I believe it's his first year with the Argonauts. I might be wrong on that, but it's a
No, it
roster
is.
full of new. It is right, full of new faces. Even a GM. Pinball Clemens. This is his first year as a GM. It's just like but that's what makes a lot of times that's what makes a very very good thing, a good team. New faces. I think what we're gonna have to do is find a way to have that build that chemistry. With a lot of new faces, a lot of things like that. It's gonna take a little bit of more work, because that's what championship teams are made of. You start working together, you learn how to play together, you learn your teammates, um, and then you have success. So I think that's one thing I look forward to. Getting to know my teammates, getting to play with my teammates, and being in hopefully bringing a winning environment.
I tell you what, unless Henry Burris decides to go into the front office, you'll never play for a guy with a better smile than Pinball Clemens. So, you know what? We wish you lots of success and lots of time with your son, Malik. And thank you so
Yeah,
much for doing this, Bo.
yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Warren. Good luck, man. Thank you.
That is Bo Lokombo of the Toronto Argonauts. My name's Warren Andrews with VBN Sports. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, man.